So you're trying to find something to watch on streaming platform, on cable, pretty much anything, just something that's going to help you pass the time, or just something that can entertain you. So you stumble across Nickelodeon and you stumble across these shows, iCarly, Victorious, Drake and Josh, Big Time Rush, The Amanda Bynes Show, all that, Rugrats. Do any of these shows sound familiar? Well, they're all Nickelodeon shows. And then you stumble upon these shows and you're enjoying it. But what you really don't know is the scary and mysterious stuff going on behind the scenes during filming these shows. Welcome back to the Charles Entertainment Show podcast spin-off edition with your host Charles here, where we talk about scary, mysterious, and paranormal events going on around the world. Today's story is no exception. So sit back, relax, and let me do the talking. Let's get started with today's story. Nickelodeon, one of the biggest channels to have ever been launched on cable and streaming platforms. It was then when it was launched in 1979, and it would eventually become competition to that of Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. Often referred to those three as the holy trinity of the children networks, Nickelodeon was up there, and it was up there rightfully so. And it created one of the biggest shows to have ever existed on any channel before, such as iCarly, Victorious, Amanda Show, all that, Drake and Josh, Rugrats, Cat Dog, just all these shows that would eventually make memories and that would make adults feel nostalgic when looking back at these shows. Nickelodeon had been around for a while now. It's been around for 3 to 4 decades and has sustained its place in pop culture. Nickelodeon became so big that it even launched its own show, the Kids' Choice Awards. The Kids' Choice Awards is an annual event held by Nickelodeon where they aim to award their actors. It's kind of like the Oscars, kind of like the Academy Awards, but the kids version. It even has some funny moments, such as splashing these celebrities with goo in their face. Nickelodeon has been around for a while now. However, recently it's been going downhill and even gotten canceled. Now, with the streaming era upon us, it can be assumed that a lot of these channels on cable are struggling to stick to their audiences, are struggling to maintain the ratings, struggling to just capture everyone in general. However, Nickelodeon is different. Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, is a documentary recently released by former actors that used to work on Nickelodeon. So, you may ask yourself, what does this have to do with Nickelodeon? Well, it's a documentary that was released by actors who formerly worked on Nickelodeon. Some of the most notable people on that is actors from All That, Drake and Josh, even writers who were on the behind the scenes, producers. Now, as we know, Nickelodeon is one of the biggest and most iconic channels to have ever been launched on streaming and cable. However, recently it did hit a downfall and is now being canceled by the general public. Now you may ask yourself why. Well, recent reporters did report that Nickelodeon was having a lot of issues when filming these shows for the general public. Dan Schneider, one of the biggest producers to have ever stepped foot in Nickelodeon studios. He helped launch the careers of those of Amanda Bynes, Drake Bell, Ariana Grande, just to name a few. However, recently he's been accused of a lot of stuff going behind the scenes of Nickelodeon. Actors being yelled at, actors being manipulated, actors being treated unfairly behind the scenes while your favorite shows were being aired on cable television. One being laughed at, one laughing at these actors for their comedic acting. However, what people didn't know was what was going on behind the scenes. The Quiet on Set documentary, recently released this year, went on into a deeper dive into what would happen behind the scenes. Some of the few actors that showed up on that were from All That, and they described the horror that would go on just by filming these shows. Dan Schneider, again, one of the most biggest producers to have ever stepped foot on Nickelodeon, was one of the most difficult producers to work with. He was known for his very iconic shows. Like I said, helping launch those careers that we see in today's pop culture moments. However, he was a very difficult person to work with behind the scenes. Some of these actors from All That went on to express how they felt manipulated. They felt scared. People didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. Drake Bell, another actor from one of the biggest shows to have ever came out of Nickelodeon, Drake and Josh, came out throughout that documentary to say that he recently went through an assault by a producer on Nickelodeon. Now, that producer is known to have worked on Disney Channel as well after he had been sued and locked up in jail for 6 months. Drake Bell was a very notable character in the Drake and Josh show and became one of the biggest people to come out of Nickelodeon. Some of the scary stuff that were going on behind the scenes when these shows were being filmed was actors being yelled at, actors being manipulated, and actors being worked overtime. 12-hour shifts were recommended and were instituted when these films were going on. Actors had to work all day and feared that if they were to speak up, they would get cut from the show or get blackballed by the industry. It was a dark era for these people as they didn't have anyone to look towards to. They didn't have anyone to lead to. They didn't have anyone to speak to, because just one word out of your mouth that would assume negativity towards these producers would end your career. Amanda Bynes, the biggest star to possibly come out of Nickelodeon, along with Ariana Grande. Amanda Bynes went through a lot. In 2012 to 2013, she released tweets that accused Dan Schneider of assaulting her in a very inappropriate way, leading her to get pregnant and eventually an abortion from Dan Schneider himself. Now, people at the time were accusing her of being mentally unstable and claiming that the claims she was making was false. However, with the new documentary, allowed for people to lean back on Amanda Bynes and offer her an apology. These are just some of the events that would happen behind the scenes of these biggest shows that you would watch when you were a kid. However, it can be stated that today, in today's world, where it is not only not acceptable, but eager for you to speak up against these situations, now Nickelodeon is canceled. Ratings have plummeted down, and streaming being a very tough competitor to these cable market, it can be said that Nickelodeon is definitely struggling and trying to stand on its toes. Today, Nickelodeon has canceled a lot of shows. However, the question is, can they get back on their feet? Can they get back to society and get the attention that they once had and gain the popularity that they once had before these scandals came out? Time will only tell what will happen with Nickelodeon, and time will only tell how these actors will eventually turn out and if they will go against Nickelodeon in a lawsuit. Time will only tell if Nickelodeon will ever be the same again. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Charles Entertainment Show podcast spin-off edition with your host Charles here, and today's story was no exception. I will see you back here next week on the next episode.
What's going on? Jarrett back here with my segment for the Intern Podcast, and really just talking about what grinds my gears, what makes my blood boil, what is really just irking me lately. And it's a couple things, but it all has to do with the same thing. It has to do with the bicycles, the skateboards, the scooters, the robots. Everything with wheels on this campus is really just making me mad. And it's not the bicycle or the scooter or the skateboard itself. I understand the fun times that come with those things. I had a bicycle, I had a scooter as a kid, and I enjoyed them. I enjoyed using them. They were fun. But it seems like once you hit the college age, 18 to 22, 23, 24, some of us don't really get to do the 4 years. It's got to be 5, 6, 7 sometimes. It seems like once you hit that age, when you get a bicycle or a scooter or a skateboard, it comes with a sense of entitlement. And that really is what pisses me off, because I'm walking on the sidewalk. There are bike lanes in the streets. It's really the bicycle people that really make me the most mad, because they zoom past you and they look at you like, what are you doing? Why are you walking on the sidewalk? Like, I don't understand it. And the skateboard people, they make me mad too, because they'll just come zooming by you. There's no, hey, heads up. There's nothing. Like, they'll slow it down a little bit. It's especially the motorized ones. They'll zoom past you. They won't, go around or, give you a little bit of space. They'll zoom right past you, shoulder to shoulder, and about knock you off your feet. And also, they go in between the side tech buildings, the science technology buildings. They go in between those things, and they just do their little tricks, their flips and tricks. I'm trying to walk to class, come from the bus stop, go to class, and these people want to do flips and tricks and take up my time and make me late. And just because they want to, be Tony Hawk, it doesn't make you look cool. It really doesn't. If anything, it makes you look the exact opposite of cool. And it's not everybody with these things. It's just the ones that have that sense of entitlement, that they own the sidewalk, that they own the walkways throughout campus, that they own this little area in between the science technology buildings, that they just want to take up all the space and take up your time. They take up your time, my time, everybody's time, that are not riding these stupid skateboards. And then the scooters that have just popped up around campus all of a sudden. I mean, they had the bird scooters, and then they took those away. And I think we should go back to what we did and just start throwing them off of bridges, because they make me very mad. And it's not everybody that rides these scooters, but it's still the same people on the motorized skateboards that just zoom right past you. No, hey, heads up. No, get out of the way. It's just no warning. They just almost take you off your feet. And then most of the time you realize that these are athletes. It's the athletes on these scooters. And that, as a concerned fan of ECU sports, that is another thing that makes me mad, because this could cause potential injury. They've done a great job of redoing a lot of the brick in front of Joyner. They've done a great job. The campus is nice. There's not a lot of bumpy areas, but in some places there are. And sometimes you could just hit that little bump, flip head over handlebars. And as a concerned ECU fan, I don't want to see any of the athletes get hurt. And if you do get hurt, let's get hurt on the field. Let's get hurt in the action, instead of, I was going to class and I was going fast on the scooter and I flipped head over the handlebars. That is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's everybody. I don't know. But this thing really makes me mad. And then lastly, the robots. The robots that deliver the food. Are you that lazy? Nothing on this campus is too far away. I've been to many other college campuses, and it's a mile walk from dorm rooms to somewhere else. I mean, you got to take buses at UNC Charlotte just to get from one side of campus to the other. And yes, we do have bus services, but nothing is too far away in Greenville or on this campus. And you are so lazy, so entitled, that you don't want to get out of your bed. You don't want to walk more than 2 feet out the door, so you just beep bop on your phone and have the robot bring it to you. This is going to be the downfall of this world. This is going to be the downfall of the human civilization, is people are so lazy that we're going to give these robots and this artificial intelligence so much power over us that it's going to just lead to death and despair for all of us, just because you want Steak and Shake in the snap of a finger. You don't want to walk to the student center and get your Steak and Shake or your Raising Cane's or your Panda Express. You want it brought to you not more than 2 feet out the door. That is what's wrong with everything, and it's just the sense of entitlement that everybody has on their skateboards, their bicycles, their scooters, and now with this robot food delivery. And also, they take up so much space. They click and clack all over the place. Some of them are broken. Some of them get run over by cars. Some of them run over signs and nice pieces of work on the campus. Literally just 15 minutes ago, I saw a robot run over a sign. A nice sign, well put together, that somebody had put out to promote something that they wanted to do, that they wanted to have, and the robot just ran it over. And they're always in the way. You know, you're trying to walk to class. This is really everything. You're trying to walk to class all the time, and all these things, they take up so much space, and they waste your time trying to maneuver out of the way. You know, you thought it was embarrassing and bad when you're head on with somebody, and it's like, oh, you go the same way every time. The robots are worse, because you will get out of the robot's way, and then it will intentionally just drive right into you. And it makes me very mad. And I don't know why everybody is so lazy to where they cannot just get up and walk to the student center, get up and walk to Chick-fil-A. Just get up and walk to these places and go get your food. You're already eating the most unhealthy thing to eat, fried chicken. I mean, the fried rice with all the weird whatever the heck they put into Panda Express food, the steak and shake, there's no way that's healthy. You're already eating the most unhealthy thing, and you cannot get your fat self up out of your bed and walk, less than a mile to the student center to get your food. It makes no sense, and I hope you have a great day. I don't know. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy DJ Meech, aka the greatest to ever do it, aka 101 talent, aka got a BB, and you're tuning in to Meech's Palace. It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody had a good Friday, good Easter. You know what I'm saying? We back, just checking in on everybody. Man, oh man, a lot has happened within the past week, man. It's crazy. The entertainment business is in shambles. Get that boy Puff Daddy out of here. You're done, buddy. Oh my gosh. We man. Man, oh man. I'm not gonna talk about it much here, but on my show, we gonna have to talk about it, man, because it's like once you think once you think everything has been out in the public, we're getting more and more information, and like all the people who are involved with it, it's insane, man. And like, hey, DJ Meech, we love drama out here. We love to dissect and analyze. But man, as always, it's a pleasure and honor for all y'all to be listening, tuning in for real, because I'm the best in the world at what I do, the greatest to ever do it. I'm Magic Johnson, my rookie year in the finals. Stop playing with me. Averaging 45 and 12. Stop it. One of the best to ever do it. Miami Braun. Quit playing with me. Everybody else, y'all Celtic Shaq. Y'all Kobe in the last season of his career after he tore his Achilles. Lame. Could never compare to me. Y'all Michael Jordan with his eyes yellow at age 45. Stop playing. But nah, just wanted to ramble on here for a bit. Make sure y'all tune into my show, Space is the Place, every Friday from 3 to 4. Like I said, we're going to have to dissect and analyze this quite a bit, ladies and gentlemen. This situation is out of control. And as always, what would happen if I wasn't the greatest to ever do it? I guess we'll never know. Tune in next time. Peace.